49ers Cardinals. A win for San Francisco would secure a 13-4 record and the 2 seed in the NFC. Welcome to Josh's Football Breakdowns, where we don't tell you what you're seeing, we let the film tell us what we're seeing. And what we saw on Sunday was a team trying to keep their offense sharp heading into the playoffs and sharpen things up on the back end of their defense, which has kind of been bothering them in recent weeks. And of course, the Arizona Cardinals came into the game looking to exploit some of those things on the Niners defense, and they started this game off with a trick play. The Cardinals had wide receiver Pharoh Cooper lined up in the backfield, and they handed him the football. The idea is to suck in the defense, particularly Deommodore Lenoir, allowing A.J. Green to come wide open down the field, after which Cooper would toss the ball back to quarterback David Blau, who would then pass to Green. But Deommodore Lenoir smells a rat, and almost immediately he turns around and tries to get in position. He stays with Green, stops, locates the football, and appears to be in good position to defend the pass, but it's Green who comes down with the football. Deshaun Gipson misses the tackle, and just like that, it's the Arizona Cardinals who strike first in this game, scoring a touchdown on the second play. Now, my immediate reaction, like that of a lot of fans, was to say, oh, Deommodore Lenoir got burned again. But take a look here. You can see a pretty clear push-off from A.J. Green. This very easily could have been called offensive pass interference. Fortunately for the 49ers, Matt Prater misses the extra point, making the score Cardinals 6, San Francisco nothing. Rookie sensation Brock Purdy has made a name for himself by punishing opposing defenses who dare to send a blitz against him. So it was a little bit interesting when the Cardinals decide to send a risky 6-man blitz on his first pass play of the game. And the Cardinals do something really interesting here. They leave a safety back deep. Well, 6 blitzers plus a safety, that's 7 men. Now you only have 4 defenders left. So if the 49ers send 4 men out on pass routes, you might be okay. But in the NFL, you're allowed up to 5 eligible receivers, and that's what San Francisco does here, sending Kyle Juszczyk out into the pattern, and Brock Purdy always seems to be able to make the right read quickly. He gets the ball to Juszczyk, who makes a man miss and gains 26 yards on Brock Purdy's first pass play of the game. Wow. Purdy impresses again on the following play. This time the Cardinals, rather sensibly, just send a standard 4-man pass rush, and they drop everyone else back into a zone. Now eventually George Kittle would come open, but there's no need. Brock Purdy sees a lot of space on the left side of the formation, and he simply takes the space the defense left behind. The 49ers cap off the drive by putting Deebo Samuel in motion, and a defender goes with him. Just file that away for a few seconds here. Alright, now this time the Cardinals only rush 3. It's clear they're going to be mixing up their coverages throughout this game in an attempt to maybe try to confuse the young quarterback. It doesn't really work. Here the 49ers have called a screen pass for Christian McCaffrey. Now, ordinarily, you want a screen pass to be called against a blitz, so there's no defenders on the back end to cover the screen. Against a 3-man rush, sometimes this play doesn't work out so well, but here you can see Brandon Ayuk head into the middle, taking another defender with him, and then he throws a block. So between Deebo Samuel's man and the 2 defenders that Brandon Ayuk moves out of the way, that's 3 defenders now who aren't going to be there to cover Christian McCaffrey. And notice the safety up by the goal line. He's also going to take a few steps in that direction. But we'll get back to that in a minute. For now, Purdy gets the ball to McCaffrey, who has a lot of space to work with, and then he uses his special abilities to get the ball all the way down into the end zone, and the 49ers have answered. And from this angle, we get a great look at Brock Purdy just staring right at that safety and maybe causing the safety to take a few steps over to the other side of the field. He gives the safety no idea this ball is going to Christian McCaffrey until it's already too late. And for the 49ers, Robbie Gould doesn't miss the extra point. He knocks it right through, so San Francisco takes the lead 7-6. Now, I thought it would be fun in J.J. Watt's retirement game to take a look at some of his plays, because he had a strong game, and here he gets a sack of Brock Purdy. Let's go back to the snap. When Miles Sanders drops back, he takes away Brock Purdy's initial read, giving more time for the pass rush to succeed. And it looks like Jake Brendel was maybe expecting Sanders to come around on the stunt, leaving Spencer Burford one-on-one against J.J. Watt. And J.J. Watt gives the young rookie guard some education. On this play, the 49ers send 3 receivers on very long developing routes. And for the Arizona Cardinals, this is a very good time to send a blitz. The offensive line doesn't pick it up, and Purdy is forced to scramble, and he takes a big sack. From this angle, we get a great look at Isaiah Simmons coming on the blitz, and this really draws the attention of the 49ers offensive line. Dan Brunskill, Trent Williams, and Christian McCaffrey, who the 49ers left in to help with pass protection. And this allows J.J. Watt to loop around to the inside. Now, Brock Purdy is a lot faster than J.J. Watt, but Isaiah Simmons is a lot faster than Brock Purdy, and he gets home for the sack. Simmons gets the credit for the sack, but J.J. Watt was the one who flushed Brock Purdy out of the pocket. But the 49er defense would have their own successes in this game, and I don't really know what to make of this route by Hollywood Brown. It looks like, faced with some good physical coverage by Diamador Lenore, he kind of gave up on the route, and David Blau throws the pass anyway, and you can't make a mistake like that against Tashawn Gipson. It's a terrible interception for the Cardinals, and the 49ers are going to start this drive off already in the red zone. Wow. The 49ers would like to punch this thing into the end zone. So they send Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle to their right, drawing the defense over to that side. Deebo Samuel comes over to keep that defense pinned to the inside, but here Jace Whitaker does a great job of staying home on the play, allowing Jalen Thompson an excellent chance at making this tackle on Elijah Mitchell. And Mitchell bulldozes him on his way into the end zone for a very physical, powerful touchdown run. Elijah Mitchell is back. The 49ers capitalize on the turnover, going up 14-6. The Cardinals would get the ball back, but this time it would be Azeez Al-Shaair's turn to take away the initial read of Arizona's quarterback, David Blau, allowing Nick Bosa time to get home on the bull rush. Bosa finishes the season with 18.5 sacks, which led the NFL. He probably could have broken Aldon Smith's franchise record of 19.5 sacks. But as we'll see later, Kyle Shanahan started pulling some of the starters to prepare for the playoffs, and Bosa said after the game that that was the plan all along. He said there's things that are way more important out there than his personal sack record, a team player through and through. After the sack, the Cardinals are now faced with a 3rd and 14. Blau hits the check down to Corey Clement, and here Talanoa Hufanga seems to be in pretty good position to make the tackle, but he is apparently the victim of an illegal block in the back. No call from the official. The 49ers certainly didn't make it easy on the back end by sending a 6-man blitz on this play. But either way, the penalty should have been called. The announcer thought it may have been a block to the side, but does this look like a block to the side to you guys? So the drive would continue, and eventually that same Corey Clement would punch it in for a touchdown. And these would be the last points that the Arizona Cardinals would score in this game. This time Prater makes the extra point, making the score 14-13. Last week we saw Brock Purdy drive the 49ers down for what should have been a game-winning field goal at the end of the game against the Raiders. And this week we get another opportunity to see him execute in the 2-minute offense before the half. Here we see the Cardinals in a little bit of an unusual defensive formation for the NFL, a 4-4, not unheard of. Our crosstown rivals in high school used to love running this defense. They rush 4. You can see Brock Purdy holding out the football on the play action fake, and this completely draws in the defense, allowing Brandon Ayuk to come wide open over the middle. And remember, that safety isn't really there. Why isn't that safety there? Well, on this play, the 49ers have put the speedy Danny Gray into the game. He's only caught 1 pass all year, but it doesn't matter. He's still a threat and must be accounted for. If we're nitpicking, Brock Purdy's a hair late on this throw, and Ayuk takes a hit. The timing could have been a little bit better on that. Now, like Shanahan said last week, we're critical of Brock Purdy because he's so good. On this play, we see the Cardinals giving Juwan Jennings a lot of space at the top, and this is because they know they're going to be vulnerable on this play because they're going to send a blitz. Now, they're sort of crafty in the way they do it. They do drop a man back to take away the middle of the field from Deebo Samuel, but it's Juwan Jennings who takes the space the defense left behind, and Brock Purdy makes the right read. This play answers another question about Brock Purdy, or more specifically, his arm strength. Can he stand on the far hash and deliver this football outside the numbers? And the answer is yes. Purdy caps off the drive when he sees that he has George Kittle one-on-one against Isaiah Simmons. Now, we've already talked about Simmons' speed earlier in this video, and Purdy wasn't sure if this would be a good matchup. But he said after the game he's learned to trust Kittle in these situations and his ability to gain separation. And he throws a beautiful dart to Kittle in the back of the end zone, who gets both feet down for the touchdown. Whew, that was a great throw. And with just 19 seconds left, the 49ers extend their lead to 8 points, 21-13. Let's move ahead to the third quarter. On the first play of the second half, the 49ers go back to the well. They fake the handoff to Christian McCaffrey, drawing in the defense and allowing Brandon Ayuk to come wide open behind them. And notice the timing is much better on this play. In-game corrections from a rookie. It's rare in the NFL, but not rare for Brock Purdy. In fact, here Shanahan is so confident, he calls for a deep shot to Deebo Samuel, and he's open. But this play gets blown up by who else? J.J. Watt. What do you need to throw the ball deep? Time. So the 49ers decide to triple team J.J. Watt with Spencer Burford, Mike McGlinchey, and George Kittle chipping him before heading downfield on a pass route. And J.J. Watt just beats all three of them and gets home for the sack, his second of the day and 12th on the season. JJ, are you sure you want to retire? So now the 49ers are faced with a daunting 3rd down and 17. And they hand it off to Christian McCaffrey on the draw play, and he has some space, and he makes a move, stiff arm, and gets the first down for the 49ers. Are you kidding me? We've got to go back and take a look at that again. Once again, we see Brock Purdy holding the ball for the defense to see, but this time, instead of holding the ball out for a run fake, he's holding it up on a pass fake. And instead of drawing in the defense, this causes the defense to drop back. The wide receivers look for someone to block downfield, and the offensive line gets in on the action as well. And we can see that Christian McCaffrey has a lot of space to work with. Now, even having said all of that, the defense is still in a position to make the tackle here. So he makes one move to the inside and then cuts back to the outside, and it's enough to get him the first down. What a special player Christian McCaffrey is. Two plays later, we see some excellent blocking for Elijah Mitchell. And it's enough to spring him down the sideline, and he is off to the races and just barely knocked out of bounds, just short of the goal line. Making a cut at full speed, so I guess his knees are in pretty good shape, and he gains 37 yards on the play. In fact, on the very next play, they hand it to him again, and he punches this thing in again for his second touchdown of the day. Welcome back, Elijah Mitchell. And once again, we can see this is just outstanding blocking. Look at the Cardinals' body language after this play. And the 49ers start to pull away now, going up 28-13 in the third quarter. Desperately, the Cardinals call for a deep shot to Hollywood Brown, but he's being bracketed by Fred Warner and Tashawn Gipson. David Blau, for some reason, throws this ball anyway, and it's intercepted by Tashawn Gipson again. The teams with positive turnover differential in the NFL all made the playoffs, and the 49ers led the league. They had the highest turnover differential and led the league in interceptions. Tashawn Gipson has his 5th of the season. Shanahan goes for the kill, calling for deep shots to Brandon Ayuk, and no, that's not a tight end, that's Christian McCaffrey. But this play seems to be defended well. Or at the very least, Brock Purdy didn't like what he saw, so he decides to check the ball down. But between the Elijah Mitchell play and this play, I really got the sense that the 49ers were just overwhelming the Cardinals with superior talent. Because that isn't just a normal check down. That's the 49ers getting the ball into the hands of one of their best playmakers, Deebo Samuel. And this is really my favorite part of the play. We see Brock Purdy moving to his left, and even though he's just flipping the ball out on a little check down to Deebo, watch as he stops and sets his feet first. Fundamentals. This kid's footwork is outstanding, and it's part of what makes him a great quarterback. Starting to work the clock, the 49ers would call 5 consecutive runs before Purdy would eventually take a coverage sack, and they would settle for a field goal, pulling away even more, making the score 31-13. And at this point, Shanahan would start to pull out the starters. Notice Nick Bosa is no longer on the field. Nevertheless, this time it's the 49ers' turn to get a coverage sack with excellent pass defense on the back end, and it allows time for the pass rush to get home. And here we see Jordan Willis with the tomahawk, and the 49ers come up with the football. David Blau would be unable to continue in this game, and we wish him a speedy recovery. The offense comes out one last time to put this thing away officially. Hoping for a miracle on defense, the Arizona Cardinals rush 4, but once again, they're really crafty about how they try to do it, and maybe a little bit too crafty, because you can see they're rushing their linebackers, but dropping their pass rushers into coverage. When Deebo Samuel goes to the outside, it's Dennis Gardeck who has to defend him, and Deebo easily loses him to the inside. Grugier Hill has to pick him up, and there's nobody left to cover the middle of the field, and George Kittle comes wide open behind him, and Brock Purdy makes a great read. Again, this is just a lightning quick read by Brock Purdy here. All right, here we go. Spider 2 Y banana. Fullback is the first read. And I think Brock Purdy should have stayed with this read a little bit longer because Kyle Juszczyk eventually does uncover. That linebacker can't stay with him. Purdy was saying that he needed to have a little more faith in Kittle to uncover. He probably needs to extend that faith to Kyle Juszczyk as well. Fortunately, Kittle also uncovers. He's the second read on the play, and Brock Purdy gets him the football. We're still in the third quarter, but the 49ers are just rolling now, making the score 38-13. Shanahan would pull all the rest of the starters, and that would close out the scoring for this game. I want to show you guys a couple of more things, starting off with J.J. Watt's last play in the NFL. I think one of the coolest things I've seen as a football fan was the stadium chanting for J.J. Watt and giving him a standing ovation when he came out of the game after this play. Just ultimate respect, even to a division rival, for a Hall of Fame career. Now, as we've talked about before on this channel, on fourth down, the 49ers don't kick the field goal. They actually show respect to their opponent by going for it here, and the Arizona Cardinals return that respect by just taking a knee on the next play to close out the game. Well, there you have it. The 49ers close out the season in style, putting up 30 points again. 49ers had the highest point differential in the league. Brock Purdy leading the league in quarterback rating and also had the most touchdown passes since he came into that game against the Dolphins. He has just been phenomenal for a rookie. Absolutely phenomenal. Little things we can nitpick about his game here or there, things he should improve on, but like we've said week after week on this channel, haven't really seen him make the same mistake twice. He's just been so good, as has every member of this 49ers offense. They have so many weapons. I could just, go name after name after name, but what's the point? This team is on cruise control and they are steamrolling into the playoffs. And they draw what I think could be a favorable matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year, and we saw that last season with the Rams, right? I think this situation for the 49ers is a lot more favorable this time around. They just really match up well against the Seahawks for whatever reason, personnel-wise, etc. Completely dominated the game in week 2, shut their offense out. And again, on, December 15, that game wasn't as close as a score. Remember, there was a pick 6 that was called back. Robbie Gould also missed a field goal in that game. That game could have been a lot uglier than it was. And it's going to be raining. I think that really hurts the Seattle passing game a little bit and kind of plays to our run game. The Seahawks have to travel on the road on a short week. Just kind of a lot of bad breaks going against Seattle for this game. 49ers open up as 10-point favorites. Now, on the flip side of that, it's a division game, right? Playing a team for the 3rd time in one season, throw out the records, throw all of that out. Maybe Pete Carroll finds a way to make this game kind of crazy and a little bit closer than it needs to be. One thing I'm thinking about is the 49ers can't allow any crazy plays to happen. There was a lot of special teams plays over the last few seasons that really hurt the 49ers in some of their games against the Seattle Seahawks. They can't allow that to happen. They have to go out and execute in this game, but I think they will. The team is really fired up. They have a huge goal in mind, which is to finally get that 6th Lombardi trophy. I think they roll in the first round. All right, we'll keep it nice and short this week. It's a short week, and I know a lot of you are going to have to squeeze this video in, so I won't take up too much of your time. Again, I just want to thank all of you who have really gone the extra mile to support this channel. Thank you so much. I don't think I can really honestly convey what a huge difference all of you guys have made. It's so incredibly generous, and I'm humbled every week. Thank you so much. It's also come to my attention that some of you have been, shouting this channel out on other YouTube channels and also on Twitter too. And for those of you who are doing that, I want to say thank you. That kind of word of mouth really does help to get some eyeballs onto the channel. And that makes a big difference. So, thank you very much. Appreciate the shout outs, and as long as you guys are being, respectful and all that, again, just wow. I can't believe it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right. It's going to be Niners and Seahawks on Saturday. Don't miss the game. Saturday at 1:30. I think it's going to be a big win for the 49ers. But that's why they play the games, right? So we got to watch the game. They have to go out and execute. And no matter what happens in that game, we are going to be here to break down that film. And I will see you guys then.